Hi, this is Roy from NzdUsd. Welcome back to the technical analysis videos. If you do enjoy this content on this channel, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. And let's get on with today's episode. So I mentioned last week that I was waiting for a breakout of this parallel trend channel on EURCHF. So this is the daily chart on the EURCHF, and we are looking at data going back to August in 2017. So what you're seeing right here on the chart, so we have a confirmed upper trend line and we have a clone parallel trend line projection that got hit, and we got a breakout on Thursday. So right now the scenario I'm waiting for is a retest of this lower trend line right here. That will be my entry in for this particular trade, and you probably know the target already. I showed the target last week in the last analysis. The target remains the same. So I am measuring out the inside of this parallel channel. And if we have a successful retest, then this range will be put right at the retest itself, and that will act as a take profit. And so this target, it lines up extremely well with the support we have back here from August of 2017. So that is my entire trade plan for Euro Swiss franc. So, but we do have two possible scenarios for this to play out. So let's head down to the 4-hour chart, and I will show you what could happen, but I will also show you what I want to happen with this currency pair. So the ideal scenario for me would be let me just remove this. This looks annoying. So the ideal scenario for me right now is to have a perfect retest of this trend line right here. I will execute on the touch itself, and then if price actually fails at this level, then I will add and then go to full position. So then shooting down and targeting the 112.60 level, that will be my desired take profit. But if we don't get a retest, so a lot of setups like this, they don't retest, they just break out of the lower corrective structure. So what I mean by that is right now we could see sideways movement like this. So we can have a bear flag pattern, price moving inside of this, and then breaking out of that channel without a retest. So that could also happen. So I'm prepared to do both. The best looking scenario for me ideally would be the retest of the weekly trend line, but I will also execute on a break lower from a lower corrective structure. So that is my plan. So I have plan A and B for almost all of my trades. So I gave you both of them. So that is what I intend to do with EURCHF. And let's go to Brent. Brent has been absolutely amazing last week. So on Friday, we saw on the peak itself, 5% move on Brent. That to me is insane, but it also tells me that stops are getting run. And so the COT report was at an all-time extreme long exposure. So that tells me that the bigger entities in the market, they are now starting to rotate their positions. So going from long to short or going from long to neutral. So this entire move that we are seeing right here, that is liquidation of their position. And so right now I'm waiting for price to hit this level, and then I want to see what kind of reaction we get from that level itself. So if we fail extremely hard at that level, then I will look to reduce my short position, take some partial profits, and then just sit back and be patient and wait for the next possible scenario. I mentioned in a few videos ago that this particular setup was a perfect storm, and I was falling in love with it. And right now, I couldn't be more right. So I was going short up here, or the video came out when we were at the 2018 highs. And so the timing on this trade was great. I had a trade, I believe it was this high or this high, where I was wrong. So I stayed wrong for a few weeks. So I had my back against the wall and I had to take protective longs to protect my short. And some of the best trading I ever done in the last 6 months was with Brent. So there was a lot of trading going on. So rotating, going from long to short, and actively trading just this one market. So I'm very proud of myself for being able to pull off something like that, since I watched a lot of pairs, but Brent was my main focus. So I had to do a lot of work just to protect myself. So if price had kept on going up and I would have taken a loss on my short, I would still come out ahead, since I pulled off all of that work going into the next position. So right now I'm still extremely bearish, but it all depends on how price reacts to certain levels. But to be honest and a bit bold, I have no problem seeing Brent dropping at least down to 58 or even down in the lower 40 levels, since when price was at 115 right up here, we saw the commercial commitment of traders report, the commercial shorts and the speculative longs. They were at a historical level, and then we saw a 70% decline. So going for a 50% decline of this low from 26 up to 70, that's not a very bold target in the grand scheme of things. So I have no problem holding this position for an extended period of time. So because setups like this, where everything lines up with each other's, the stars lining, yellow cars driving back and forth on the road, like basically everything that I'm looking for in a trade actually happens at the same time. That is a scenario that only happens a few times per year. So now it's all up to me to make the most out of this trade. So I'm still holding everything and then some. So right now I'm just looking to be in this trade and just ride it until the end. So let's see how that progresses throughout the spring of 2018 if price actually hasn't followed through. So very curious about that, and let's see how this position. So I took this few hours, I believe it was few hours before the close on Friday or Monday, I don't really remember. So the 24th, yeah, it's 24th of January. So I've been in this trade for quite some time, and blind entry, so a lot of speculation going on. You can see from the second my limit order got filled, I got this pain right here, and we came so extremely close to the stop loss. So not to freak out when price is going against you is some of the hardest thing we have to accept as traders. So planning the trade is easy, but trading the actual plan is the hardest part. So just sitting quietly in the boat, don't do anything, because pulling off the self-sabotage button when price is going against you is the most logical thing to do. But in the end, that is not something that I like to do. I have done it a lot of times in the past, but right now in the last year, when I take a trade, the trade is, I don't care about the outcome, so to say. I do care if I take a loss or if I take a winner, but I really can't do anything with the position until my stop or take profit is hit. I know that this says take profit, but it was a projected target, so I wanted to see some sort of reaction and then make a decision if I wanted to get out or stay in. So I'm still staying inside of this trade. So now we are going to cover the pound yen, so the beast, and the dollar yen. I'm looking for longs on both, but to be honest, I'm not too sure if I'm going to play either of those or play them at all, because I'm not too much of a fan of how it actually looks. Okay. So TradingView is acting up. Just give me 1 second and I will go over and touch on GBPJPY and make this to dollar yen. Here we go, and go to the 4-hour chart on both of them. So the thing with both of them is that they are very bearish, both of them, and the momentum going down is extremely similar. So the thing with the beast, so the GBPJPY, is it has a valid setup, but right now it feels like too much of trying to catch a falling knife, and every time we try to catch a falling knife, we end up with bloody hands. So I'm very much on the sidelines with GBPJPY so far, but if we get some sideways action throughout the week and then a breakout of a range retest, that is my trigger for this potential long. So last week I was short and that trade went into take profit almost immediately. So that was a very good trade, a very fast trade, since I don't really like to be in a trade that goes sideways or against me for an extended period of time, like the EURCHF in 2017. That went against me for a very long period of time, and that is not the ideal. So the ideal trade for me is to get in, get instant reaction, and then just riding out the profits. And dollar yen is similar. We have a double bottom, but the double bottom is happening in no man's land, and the bigger area is still down at 107.30. But we have a double bottom right now. So the same plan as GBPJPY. For me to get involved long, I need to see some sort of range happening, then a breakout outside of the range, and then pull the trigger and execute the actual trade. So right now I'm a spectator in both, but I'm prepared to go long. But if we're starting to see some extremely bearish, so then I'm prepared to go either side. But right now I'm more in favor of longs. But there's something about both of them that makes my stomach go weird. So something about both of them is telling me to just stay put and don't do anything for at least now. So those are on the watch list, but the next plan I have is, let's see what happens with this one. Yeah, it's the NzdJPY, so the Kiwi itself, so the Kiwi dollar. I'm looking to go short since I'm still bearish on the bullish on dollar in general. And you can see here, let me zoom out, that price out, at least to me, I think that the Kiwi has fulfilled its range. So we had a very nice inverse head and shoulder pattern here going into this weekly resistance here. Nice rejection, and we have a break of support. Right now we are looking at a potential bear flag. So my trade plan for this is to trade a breakout of this corrective structure. So what I mean by corrective structure is something that goes against the underlying trend. So I believe right now that the new underlying trend in Kiwi is bearish. So everything that is bullish is to me a corrective structure. So that is, you can see the alert set here. So I will get an email as soon as price is touching this lower trend line. That will be my trigger to execute this short. So a break and close outside of this, that will be the trigger to go short. Last one up, and that is gold. I'm still holding gold. This is the, I believe it's the 2017 highs or something in that manner. So far the trade is working out perfectly. I have been able to add one position to this short, but right now we might be looking at a bounce, and I believe that this bounce has more legs to come in the coming week. let me just clone this one and give a projection to where price might be heading. So if you have been following this channel for quite some time or been through my material, you know what I'm going to do next or what I'm waiting to do next. So this is the parallel projection, and you might also remember this from the dollar-yen trade I had in November. So the biggest trade of my career, basically. And I use the exact same thing there. I use the climax high to sell, and then I started to add. So I had 9 positions short on that one. I only had 2 on gold right now. We have gold, dollar being extremely bullish, so that should, in theory at least, push gold down. So right now we have 3 touches of a trend line. That to me confirms a trend line. And what price likes to do is to go and see if we can create a parallel trend channel. So the channel is not confirmed or valid yet, but this upper line right here, that is the projection that I'm wanting. So this dotted line, that will be my area of interest throughout the week. Once we hit that, I will look for failure in all of my classic patterns and then try to execute a short. So I hope that made sense to you. So if you have been through my material or followed this YouTube channel for an extended period of time and watched and really paid attention to these videos, you might have picked something up in terms of how I execute and what I look for and everything. So the main takeaway is basically patience and waiting for the high probability setups. And in my book, this is one of them. So let's just touch on dollar yen again. You can see here, I had this channel lined up before it was even confirmed, and this is the entire trade, high time frame resistance, so a high probability trade, and then starting to add and exit everything here, and we broke out, and yeah, the rest is history. So the exact same thing, I'm looking for the exact same setup. So price have a tendency to repeat itself time and time again, and that is the only reason why I'm able to make money in this market. If the market had been random and out to get me, I would have been a losing trader. But since the market likes to repeat itself time and time again, that to me is an opportunity to make money. So short recap, looking for a move up to this parallel projection, so 1320 area, depending on how long time price will take if it gets up there. So that is the entire trade plan. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I wish you good luck, and I will see you soon.